anyị wee na-asị gị sonyela anyị na nketa mụ ọbụrụ ekwunife sonyela anyị ka anyị nọlịa
mụnwa bụ Uche Chukwu Ebonam.
Na nketa anyị ga-enebanye anya na dịka isiokwu anyị ji wee dị good governance Panacea for national integration ya ezi ọchịchị ga-eme wee weta ịdị n'otu obodo niile gburugburu anyị na obodo anyị bụ Nigeria. Anyị na-anabatazi onye anyị na-anọ nketa wee na-etinye ya bụ okwu ọnụ. Onye nwa bụ Chairman House Committee on Health wee bụkwala member representing Agwata 2 constituency na Anambra State House of Assembly, Honorable Tony Mobike. Anyị na-asị ya nọ na nzukọ Anambra nketa.
Ndị be anyị ana m ekene unu. Good morning.
No.
N'ịga n'ihu na ukwu anyị ji wee gbasara good governance Panacea for national integration, ọ ga-amasịgodo m ka m ghọta ihe ịma maọbụ ihe ibu n'obi bụ good governance and its significance in promoting national integration.
Thank you, Governor. Good governance, if I may define as a process of bringing together processes na-eweta ezigbo ọchịchị n'obodo. That is, if ọ pụtara bụ na ndị na-achị achị ịgba mbọ fụ na bring processes, use instruments of the state. And when we talk about instruments of the state, we talk about not just finances, but other instruments of the state. Deka ife basalo ife ndoza ana eke ebe na Nigeria tata ana ekwu okwu ike state. Ndị South East na-ekwu na ana emebufa na ndị nwecha 7 states. For the nwezi asonso 5, yeah. Offensive bụ instruments of the state. Maka na ekesa ya etu a ekebezi ife a na-eke oke n'aka n'aka. Only nwere 7 side the region nwere 7 states. You can offer 7. Ndị nwere 5 you can offer 5 if no book of. So the process ị ga-eweta wee gba mbọ fụ na ife niile a na-ekele ya olu onye olu ibie. Gba mbọ fụ na ihe ndị ọzọ eji egosi ezigbo ọchịchị ife security na ọ dị ife gbasazili amenities nke bụ ọrụ gọọmenti iweta mmiri iweta ọkụ iweta communications telecommunications and other things na fanye n'ezulu ezu agba mbọ fụ na emecha na ndị a na-achị achị na mbọ ha na-agba tax ha na-akwụ na ọrụ aka niile gọọmenti a na-elute ha ọfụma ọnya bụ good governance.
Okay, in a democratic dispensation dịka anyị nọ ya now, where we have the legislature, we have the executive, and we have the judiciary. Keka their relationship yeji wee entrench good governance, because in some areas some people now for the judiciary as any judgments and any counter judgments, and then that it doesn't go well for our democracy. So how will these institutions be strengthened, for effective democratic dispensation?
Thank you, Roy.
Yeah.
First of all, is ajụjụ ejula amaka. And these ajụjụ I ga-ebu ụzọ jụọ onwe anyị kedu ife mmelụ eji wee nwee 3 arms of government.
Okay.
Eji wee nwee legislature, nwee executive, nwee judiciary. Ndị ọcha ndị wepụtara this system makwa na ife. And ife ji wepụta ya bụ ka enwee ife a na-akpọ checks and balances.
Yeah.
Ka each arm nwee ike act as a check and maintain the balance between the 3 arms. So governance like I see go wee kwu ka anyị na-akọwa ife bụ good governance. Bigbo mbọfụ na-ewetalụ ndị mmadụ ife ọma chia ndị mmadụ ka esi achị oke elu onye ọbụla edozi obodo ka ekwesịsị wee dozi obodo ife ọma niile na-anabata. Mana ka ị ga-esi wee menwu ya ị ga-emenwu ya anụnụ. Nke mbụ, you cannot have security without having rule of law. A ga-enwe rule of law. And the rule of law, that na ga-eme iwu mee iwu. emesiza iwu a kedu na ọ dịrị ime iwu kedu na ọ dịrị ịgba mbọ fụ na iwu a na-emeli implement and kedu onye ọ dịrị ịgba mbọ fụ na ndị na-eme iwu implement emere overstretch their powers maka ọ bụ na mụ na gị na-afụ azụ ana gbọ ọ bụtara ọgbọ ọ bụ na anyị na-afụ azụ ana ọ bụ na ọ bụ na-eme implement iwu gbasara ana na mbụ kọmishọna nwee overriding powers ọkwa mgbe ebe ahụ ana gị dị ọ bụ na anyị na-azụ ana ọ bụ mmanụ ọgụ nwa ana mgbe ebe ahụ nkụzi na ala niile a nke ofu ife kwuo na ọ bụrụ ọzọ gị nwa ana na gọọmenti wee kwekọzi ife niile ya bụ ime overreach my powers so kedu ndị ọ bụ ọlọfa ịgba mbọ fụ that na the people who are executing the implementing these laws do not overreach their powers. That is why eji wee nwee 3 arms of government. So it is in a nutshell the legislature all of have been iwu and that's it. Of course ha nwere ọrụ ndị ọzọ ihe dịka oversight and they represent the constituents their constituents ndị send for ọrụ na primary ime iwu executive which is in line afụ every day na Anambra by for instance ọ bụ governor na ndị commissioners ya ndị special advisors na ndị na-alụ ọrụ often of executive executive ka ọ bụ ọlụfa to implement those laws implementation everyday running of government because when you run government every day that's how you implement the laws because if anything is guided by laws so and that is the work of the executive. Now the judiciary all of our busy to interpret the law. That means they make sure that nobody overreaches themselves. They interpret the law. Otherwise, a conflict. That is why, if there is a conflict, you approach the courts. That is the work of the judiciary. They interpret these laws and give them meaning when there is conflict. Now, coming to your question. Abasia, I am called the labor for each arm is operating within its limits. We have a problem in Nigeria right now where can you go to judiciary, for instance? We have judicial legislation. Judicial legislation where the courts, especially the Supreme Court, now tries to legislate. And na Supreme Court could go. Instead of interpreting the law, they now turn around to legislate and start making a law. It's not their work. Section 3 of the Nigerian Constitution states that the Constitution is supreme and that now any other thing, be it court judgment or anything, that is against what that law says becomes null and void to the extent of that contra interpretation. If you read section 3 of the Constitution very well, you understand what I'm saying. So the different strata of court, especially the Supreme Court, which is the highest law of the land, has to make sure that while trying to interpret the law, they stay within the limits that the law gives them. So you don't go to interpret a law, and in the process, you start to make another law. No, that is wrong. And that is that for the judiciary. Apart from that, anyway, other ways, judicial corruption also. I'm talking about judiciary now. Of course, I'm an aim with corruption across board, and that is what the law sets out to take care of. But there's corruption there. You have to go whereby in several aspects of trying to interpret the law, we try to make money. For instance, in election matters. You just say election. I'm about politicians. We know what is happening. You just say election. And there's an appeal. I think it's with $40,000. And they get judgment. And it becomes a problem. In trying to deliver justice. All the judiciary they involved, just like in other places. As in every 12 again with Judas. So what I'm trying to say here is that the judiciary, that is why AG they regulate all this, like for instance, the National Judicial Council. All of our part of all of our but to look and see. Part of all of our other all of our say. Part of it is to look and see any of the judges or any of the legal officers name overreach their powers or not try enrich using their powers. Okay. They discipline them. They are there to discipline. Okay, so the same thing applies to legislators.
Yeah.
In the legislature, the function of the legislature is to make laws. The primary function, apart from representing the people and performing oversight functions on the executive, make laws. And it is important that the legislature doesn't, abdicate this responsibility or try to now join become members of the executive. So that is part of what we, in Anambra State House of Assembly, I want that we restrict ourselves to what the law permits, which is making laws, oversight, and representing our different constituencies. We don't join in, we cannot join the executive. We are not a part of the executive. So, and not very important, they maintain that different. Then, the NZUKO do the executive.
Yeah.
The executive. Makana ofangwa. Bonde na implement everything. Now them hold the money now.
Yeah.
Sure. So every commissioners now run their different ministries. So this MDS they have budget because you can't run without budget. Okay. So how do we make sure that now what is budgeted is what is used and it doesn't go into private pockets?
Yeah.
And that is where also we have legislative oversight.
Wow.
So if we look at the law and governance were interwove to ensure that nothing are government. So when we talk about oversight functions of the legislature, that's why you have committees. Yeah. Like now you said I'm the chairman House Committee on Health.
Yeah.
So my committee is saddled with the responsibility of oversighting the Ministry of Health and everything under the Ministry of Health to ensure that now a governor budget na fa use as per the budget. And there are so many things in the law. For instance, we find about variation.
Yeah.
Variation when the ministry, MDA, when they need more money, maybe again is zero. You don't just say because now say na get 500 million, we go equipment. Well, maybe 1 billion. Well, abuza na 500 million na ejizi equipment. No na nketi no na losi be ya. Yes, give us a part of that 500 million. Where is the loan card? No, you can't do it.
Okay.
It must be as budgeted.
Okay.
If you have to vary it, you have to apply for environment. You have to come back to the House of Assembly and apply for environment. House of Assembly na okay. Yes, there is open. Different than the Kuba is open. No, and the equipment takes 500 million and what can we need for it? So since now our budget together, our budget, can we take maybe 400 million out of 500 million? Can you finish this building? Wow. House of Assembly say yes, not okay. House of pass before they can go back and use that money. Otherwise, that money stays there. If a commissioner uses that money, is an offense against the law. Wow. He could be charged to court and he could go to jail. If you hear, so that is the function of the House of Assembly. Now coming into oversight, the executive. So it's all interwoven, and I think that now any place, even where proper checks and balances, government na government. That is why in Obodo things seem to be they follow this pattern.
Yeah.
The problem in Africa is that now where corruption across board. If we are now, we're talking about checks and balances between the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. Where all of them are corrupt. And that is the problem we have in Africa, in most African countries. So I can if not the whole thing Abugo Babas. That is where Anambra must give credence. That is where Anambra must be proud of the governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Chukwu Masoludo. Chukwu Masoludo came into office or said that now this is a different dispensation.
Exactly.
Or say the executive must do their work, the legislature must do their work, and the judiciary must do their work. I've heard several times, and I'm sure you must have heard. I've been Anambra my governor Ojogwe in the House of Assembly, and I pass him no because now in previous administrations, on our Brabia, Ekuna get with ego, budget with ego, MNK with ego, MNK with ego before I pass here. But this 8th assembly, never meeting with Mr. Governor, and then with that agreement that the legislature got all of her. We don't need any inducement to do our work. Up there with the budget, we look at the budget holistically as per the constitution.
Yeah.
That is why during the budget season, even the House of Assembly, if MDAs are there, one session sometimes it takes up to 2 hours.
Wow.
We scrutinize them. You must explain. If you don't explain, we're not going to pass that thing for you. And governor had idea. If was a governor, don't talk to Mr. Speaker. When if was a governor with the budget, that process. If you are a commissioner, you come and defend your budget. And at the end of the day, if the House is satisfied that this budget is good for Anambra, they pass it. The House doesn't request for anything from anybody. So, and that is why you see Nifen Aga smoothly. Since this dispensation, the House has not had any form of conflict with the executive, with Mr. Governor. Or because Nifen Aga and Mr. Governor, matter that now the leader of the executive, but now the leader of the government. So Mr. Governor is at the helm of affairs of this government, and he's leading so well. And we're all this aspect I've been talking about, and we're all judicial corruption, and we're all legislative corruption, and we're executive corruption. This government is functioning, and that is why I delivered in Anambra. Those are new for Analo. Governor Ebunurego. And it's not that now more money coming to Anambra now. Actually, less money coming to Anambra. If you check the volume of money coming now, the less. And then if you check the exchange rate, we are at a worse situation now. So if you got dollar today, the less than if you got 4 years ago.
Exactly.
But this government, with the little only, is doing more. Why? Because there were less corruption. So the governor has been able to plug the loopholes, so reducing executive corruption. All those money I got here into the system. When I also, Analo Bridge, Analo Front City, Analo New Government House, Analo everywhere. Anambra Bolo, a completely new city. Analo Boko was a new heaven. You can name them. You can keep naming them for the next 1 hour.
I agree.
So all the very important that every system functions like that, and that is what we are bringing to Anambra.
Okay. And that's what good governance is about.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Bringing accountability, transparency, and responsiveness.
Exactly.
Okay. Abianaye Watalo, national integration. Nigeria is a very big country with diverse ethnic groups and religious groups as well. Even this new Homeland Security law has sparked a lot of, controversies. So we have a lot of different religious groups and ethnic groups. How can the government balance the interests? Because talk about Igbos being marginalized and all that. How can they now balance the interests of citizens of these same people from different diverse groups to promote national integration?
Yes, that's a very good question. First of all, the government has to, one, be proactive. And then number two, the government has to listen to the people. Government, we know, operate a static process. Even though all them go basic laws and all those things, but why do we keep making laws? Why do we keep revisiting the laws? Why do we keep amending laws? It is because now human existence, it keeps changing, all the dynamic. Human want is dynamic. So how government can do that is by listening to the people. That is number one. Number two is by ensuring equality, equity, and justice. Several times, and we got different commissions in Nigeria. You can name them as this commission, that commission, just, why do we keep setting up those commissions? Because we recognize or realize at that point in time then we're probably a lacuna somewhere that is supposed to operate if I get developed or if I got on bankata. Man, the problem I know most times is that when those commissions sit and make recommendations, nobody now implements them. Okay. So if an ebe, let us look at Nigeria as a nation. And we're 3 major ethnic groups. So we have the Igbos, we have the Yorubas, we have the Hausas.
Yeah.
Then we have so many, more than 250 other ethnics, minor ethnic groups here and there. So how do we ensure that these ethnic groups, that their interests are represented in what we call our nation building? Yeah. Biafra reared its head sometime in the 60s out of discontent of the Igbos, our people. Nigeria. If they were listened to, probably there wouldn't have been a war. But we ask ourselves today, has that discontent died? Has it been eliminated?
No.
Okay. In other ethnic groups, the Yorubas, and also, so how do we take care of this? We take care of this by the government listening to the people. Abankata, how to infuse this into the process of lawmaking. Because at the end of the day, let me give you an instance. And where so many commissions, for instance, National Boundary Commission. Why do we have a National Boundary Commission? To ensure, because there conflicts in boundaries.
Yeah.
And we're a National Orientation Agency.
Yeah.
Why do we have a National Orientation Agency? Because now the government at the time found then we need to reorientate the psyche of the people.
Yeah.
So these agencies are more like social agencies that are developed and commissioned to take care of certain aspects of people's either dissent or aspirations or requests.
Yeah.
So, by ensuring that these agencies function without being interfered with, for instance, today in religion, the Christians in some parts of Nigeria they feel marginalized. You know, just like when the Homeland Security Law, some people immediately became jittery. This became jittery, thinking that this law of was the target. But now Mr. Governor there were a lot of them that actually came out. Even some of them came out insulting the governor. I remember one guy from Nando? One guy is Olomwe who came out insulting the governor. People thought the governor got but the governor showed maturity and restraint.
Yeah.
Because the guy was actually insulting the governor. And the guy displayed total lack of understanding. He displayed ignorance of that law. The law other target in dominana. No, it's not what the law is doing. And not only what the law of if not the law other target in dominana. But the law now targets people who are faking the dominana system.
Yes.
So the law is actually meant upon Nanya base a dibia, base motor dominana on a claim. People say they're happy with the law.
Yeah.
Even in that video, I heard him saying, Nafama, those people. They may fake, it's Nafabo fake, they fake Dibia, but they know them. So I'm like, what is wrong? You don't understand the law.
And the government is trying to help you separate the chaff from the substance. And you are complaining.
And you are complaining and insulting the governor. So if you hear, but the governor showed utmost restraint. He didn't even pretended as if he didn't see that video. I'm sure he saw it. But the governor has taken out time to explain to Anambra. Now, Anambra, what this law says. Now, this law, are against Ndomenana. Now, actually, now we respect for people's right to religion. He repeated it again, Nonicha, Mosa Aija Beria Honorable Azoka. Okulia, that Nyangwe respect for the people's right to religion.
Yeah.
So other target people only they use that religion when they deceive them mother.
Yeah.
If you get so so in answering your question, to ensure that national integration, again we respect for our diversity religion. Of course, all of us are black people, so you will not say there's diversity in color. We have diversity in tribe, diversity in languages, diversity in culture, diversity of religion. So if we have respect for this diversity in why government is running, so abro epota because nebo nubu ebuzegi because nebu nubu. By the way, and Federal Character Act. So we will get a lot of legislative processes established to protect this and make sure that there were proper integration nationally. The Federal Character Act is there to ensure that now, you know, if you're the president and when you start to nominate and appoint your commissioners, you have to follow the Federal Character Act. But are we doing it today?
No, the answer is no.
So that is the problem. So, upon they follow these laws, we respect for our diversity. Okay? Okay. Each minister from, again, a number of ministers, minimum number of ministers from each state. Those things they're taken care of. If you're the president, when you're nominating your ministers, you ensure that you follow what it has said, so that each region feels not integrated, not marginalized.
Yes.
You know? And then the same thing in maybe dealing with the religious diversity, you know, respect for people. In Anambra, I'm Igbo. That is what government is doing it here. In Anyefuna, the government of Professor Chachuku Masoludo, Adekewa, once he became governor, he started to act as governor of everybody.
Yeah.
The first place, Oboko.
Yeah.
Mata, that now.
The largest urban slum there.
The largest urban slum then. But one fact you have to remember is that he lost election, Oboko.
Wow.
Yes, Abga lost there. Abga lose there.
And yet he started from there.
Yeah, but that's where he started. Auto furniture. The same thing. He has done a lot of nature. So in that now, once he won election, he's no longer looking at even win, even lose. No, he's just working across the whole state.
Yeah,
and that is integration.
Okay.
The same thing should happen nationally.
Yeah.
Okay.
The president should start to develop the whole country equally. It doesn't matter if it's a Yoruba area, it doesn't matter if it's Igbo, Ibibio, Efik, outside, it doesn't matter. That's number one. Number two, appointments should follow the same way.
Yeah.
In Anambra, if na Soludo, before they get appointment. Just look at appointments. If na people from other, under Obiano now.
Yeah.
Remember, Nambu governor. That's no Ndagulere. If you're in Anambra, you will know.
The kind of winner takes it all.
Yes, but under Soludo, no. Anambra. When they were employing teachers, he made sure that Nanka brought Nega Boy Anambra. No, did you qualify? It doesn't matter. Onye Togo, but here, and you pass the exam. They will employ you. They pass and meet the aptitude, so that the best. So he ensured that now they employ the best to teach the kids. According to him, if only this person I want to employ, will I be happy Nonya, Gabu teacher to my own child. If the answer is yes, then Omega employ. And how would the answer be yes? Need the aptitude test, the pass here. So now one of the best. And that's what they did. So in if there is equity, there is justice. There is equal opportunity and equal standard for all. That is when you have proper national integration into a form of main governance.
Okay, wow, honorable. That's a marathon one, but then we have to open up the phone lines for people to join, to be part of our discussion. So call us on 0706 5381 320. And if you're watching us live on Facebook, do to drop your comment in the comment section. We will as well read out your comment.
Or you can call us on 0904 956 0826. Send in your WhatsApp message. The WhatsApp number 0705 113 8812. Remember, when you call, move away from your radio set. Tell us your name, give us your location. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ma.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Your name and location.
From Bajare.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, okay, ma. After I could not banana bandi.
Manon,
when I do a good I so what I hindi boju on the Metokaranda Narubaka and the Jesu Paro, but then now don't do them muddy. But no, the Chukunu in Yaka now want them muddy. Other Mexico in the Navy, Momanda, which will give last the mother, Okanora, every again, one word am I going to now? Who know what mango we are? On that, I'm wouldn't do in terminal. So, every again,
come again. It's your own way and the money I owe you back on Uriah. Oh, you go there to do also.
As well, I don't know one hour the American area. I will know on the men and I got what I want to in Ulogo.
Okay.
Like Jim Bomber, my brother, on area. I don't know Naga, Nakaji, and on the in the Madame, and I get me good name and a Panacea, Mocho. Before now, go out the 1 year now, Roro. I never but meeting up Gundo Menala. I met a while lose, so one hour when they couldn't know your teacher. When they took me, I would now want the mother. And in the Batapana line now. I bet Mr. Cave, I will put on them or Korea.
Okay. What you let me see, I just negate. Honorable, keep that in view. Let's welcome another. Yes. Hello. Hello. Anybody there?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Otutu ọmọ. Daalụ.
This Homeland Security Bill. It's my access to it. I'm not going to from Panacea.
What is access to the laws?
Okay.
It's online.
Security, one Homeland Security Bill.
Okay.
It's.
Emechukwu honorable ya azapagia.
Yeah.
And then you go nke Ugobe na Janyegi. Ka mkpozi ya nke anwa preamble. Or preface. Then Mrs. Honorable I drop the cocoa.
Hello.
Okay. Good morning. Oh, Charles. It's fine from Oka.
Okay, no, Charles.
I can move. Because after me to just sign on our studio. Yeah, you want no Anambra State email. Our consultation with the city on Menana, stakeholders on Anambra State. In the area of Ibach and Amili, Ibach and Ezi, our wide consultation. You are particularly going to make an outside email for you. Kochiko, Ibaja, Kochiko, Yas, Koduma, Kadia Christe, may ban oil and urban here. Because in my Ibaja, na minimum also na one of the practice in the rituals in the Africa traditional region na perform. So in Nanya na the government and now na stating all that point governor Lupilaka si dapụ ịgba aja na mmiri ịgba aja n'ezi nwaanyị gọvanọ ji jesi ebe aka ebe ahụ n'ọtụ steeti ihe ndị ọzọ ọ bụ na ọ kpọrọ ndị a ọ kpọrọ fa ọ chọrọ ime ya ka ọ bụrụ iwu
You've made your point. I am not going to so it drop your question. So can you never tap on those? I have what I give you now. After this person, I will come back to you.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Honorable member, taking up a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
But eventually, it's honorable that that all the government ministries and agencies have a part of their budget of Nigeria. Because budget padding and all that, unless you want to tell me that the lawmakers in Anambra say they are coming from another heaven, no problem, Nigeria. There are things that ordinarily we know. You people are working. We commend you. I don't say that there are things that we will not take it hook, line, and sinker for it. Not Nigeria. Good morning and God bless Anambra State.
Bless Nwatakwaka too. Okay, Honorable, you can start from the last caller.
Nwatakwaka ekenenge ofuma. I understand you. Talking about budget padding and corruption in the budget process, I understand you because no we are feeling never have Nigeria. So unless man I check all and I was in weather. So in other words, we believe that na corruption are they gonna get if enjoy this 8th assembly. And when there are anything like budget padding, I'm very proud. The 8th Assembly, under the able leadership of Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable Som Tochukwu, there is a PhD. This assembly is different. Anybody in the House of Assembly now ego can pass a budget. The House of Assembly had their interface with Mr. Governor during the budgeting process. If a house member, you come abona the committee on appropriation, on finance and appropriation, ably led by Right Honorable Ejike Ogbuefi. Ejike Okechukwu, Ogbuefi Okefi,
yes,
Honorable Chairman, and all a seasoned lawmaker called Omona Maria. Obuna Hamesia timetable. Ndobuna olu their turn to come and defend because I hope to be 2 weeks for budget defense. You come, and the case you were near, now the chairman of the committee that oversights that MDA, Gabo, the chairman of the defense for that particular ministry.
Okay.
Then the chairman of the committee on finance and appropriation will be the co-chairman too. So then members of both committees will be there, as well as other members of the House of Assembly. So it is a diverse, everybody in the house. How much are you going to bring? If I'm going to get now, if we that now in that room that day, now get minimum 22 members of the House of Assembly. So how much are you going to give them? And the Obonane will go, I'm not televised here live because EJK on a basic make sure now the process now the live. Every day will go live so that Anambra will be saying it. We ask you questions. If you don't have enough defense, we stand down your budget. That's what we do. So in this 8th assembly, my brother, and where was it that corruption? Right. And if I never buy bomb bofu, never eliminate can we the governor aka call all. That's number one.
That's from Watakwaka. Then the other person talked about wide consultation before the law on Indian actual million.
Yes, that is Charles Efani from Oka.
Exactly.
Also, we consultation with the DBA actual million. And then Eje Awosaja. My brother, if you na job, if you na emife adroma, it doesn't mean you against it. You just boy a consult to bear. Usually, I am a public hearing. More than actually some laws.
Yes.
Where it is necessary. Operate in all of them corner they necessary. All of us, now many rivers and streams, they all around us, just like in other parts of the world. Most of those rivers, even how will you feel? The same place can abandon the mother Sahara. The same place can I charge. This is a public facility. Every stream is a public facility. It's just like EJ in a public park. EJ what the mother have just like what. Okay, I consult. I consult to Onyeze Jesus in case Nyabo Onyeze Jesus. Nampo. Now we call them mother Jane and Millie. Basa hani noto. Eba mu ko to ba mu an oto. Abala oto na iti efe na abo. Na sa na mmiri.
Ase na na asochu.
Iwezi na asochu. Iwezi ego na awunye na mmiri, na awunye na mmiri, na awunye na mmiri no iwete ebeni. Bupu ya isi mo ha. Tubo fumule a. This is something the modern they use. It is a public facility. The government were the responsibility to sanitize these public facilities. Cadshaw, infection, spreading. Actually, there diseases. Cadshaw that none the mother. Nebindo of ma in a healthy environment. Obona, echuchaja, jeno zobaleto, ijeba na wosia. Okwa mmadụ bi n'akụkụ ebe a onwezi onye pụtara n'ụtụtụ ịtanyere ebe gị aja eju ebe niile ọ dịrọ mmanụ ọ dịrọ mma ọ bụrụ onye asịkwa na ya achụ na aja ịchụ aja ịchụọ na be gị ọ nwere mgbe law the Anambra State Homeland Security Law did not say ga-achụ na aja ọ bụ na ifire na ịbụ onye omenala na ịchụ aja na be gị mana ọ bụrụ ịchụchazi anụ iburu pụta afọ mbọsị ndị Anambra State University gbara m dị na-ekpokọsị aja ndị mmadụ na awụsa n'ụzọ gbara na ọdịnihu na akwụkwọ ebe ụmụaka na-agụ akwụkwọ a na-ekpokọsị ya ha tinyere na Facebook afọ m ya wee na-asị na-agwa ndị mmadụ na onye ọbụla enwetakwara ọzọ ọ ga-anọ na nsogbu kedu ka ị ga-esi pụtazi ebe ndị mmadụ na-use a public road ide ebe a na-awụsa ikecha ma Fanta ma Coke ma rice ma beans ma akwa ekele eke ije wụsa it is an eyesore. If you must do that ije na be gị ọ bụrụ na azụ na be gị ọ bụrụ na ị dị ụzọ gbara ịtọ ije na azụ na be gị lụọ ụzọ gbara ịtọ na azụ be gị
ịchụpụ ya dị ya
ije na azụ na be gị nke anọ ọ gbara ịtọ ọ gbara ịtọ emechaa asị gị by 12 ije n'ụzọ be gị anwa dị na mgbe be gị ije baghị ịtọ bịa ụzọ gbara ịtọ ka ọ bụ ọ bụrụ pụta n'ụzọ gị na ndị mmadụ na-eyuz ije ebe anwa jee na-emebisi ụzọ ọ dịrọ mmanụ so biko Charles ife iwu melụ bụ always do in the house ka follow matakwa amata na ọ bụrụ na ifile ndị iwu a na o megide gị you have a right you can approach the House of Assembly, you can petition, we will hear you out, you can as well approach the courts. That is why aging checks and balances. So ọ bụrụ na ifile that na your rights are being trampled upon, you go to court. The courts are there and ready to hear those cases. Mana governor today, where the responsibility to sanitize the state, insecurity. The bad insecurity. Governor Bruce Opota with a carrot and stick approach. Now you mark as if we're going to help you reintegrate into the society. And we want you to two skills program. MSA and last year we up 2 billion. Many of them, lady serious, today are doing very well. come out. The government is ready. They refused. Many of them now complain now. So insecurity. You cannot tackle a bad system without icheki the taproot ebosi. On the mad lady say Omaka. You know, get say Omaka says in Igbo. It happened in Igbo or the possible. You get the source of that Igbo. They cut her off. Omaka when they have one trouble. Not confused if the actual people Budibia. Everybody's if you come and register. That's what the government is saying. That's what the law is saying. They register. Go and register. I want to get Libya. Then I also be fake. So no problem today because they're happy. The government na yellow faka. Then a fake their profession. Up in Libya today in Anambra, people say they're happy. What government is doing is trying to sanitize the Libya business, if I will call it that.
Okay, there's one you left behind. The person that talked about a case here defy medical now.
Yes.
Defy the other way medical.
Yes.
And then Obolondaya, where does the person run to?
Yes, that is Obiora from Ajale.
Yes.
So
Okay.
Obiora, onye say ndị dibia na ba dibia aluzna. Obro ife ku na iwu. Obu no wo na eme dibia. Ekwugo before. If you go come and register. Governor na ekwu ebe obo na ono. Bia register ebe ayi nke na alu.
Amalo onye bu.
Apa na enwe ndị dibia ife ojo de bai ana aka ogwu, ana aka nsi. Anwe ndị na-agwọ ọkịrị mgbawa isi, enwe ndị na-agwọ ma nke a na-eme niile. Enwecha ndị na-agwọ ya. Onwe onye sefa pụa. But come and register ka amalụ na ịnọ malụ na nke ị na-alụ ndị na-agba ọsọ bụ ndị na-eme mpụ n'afa dibịa ndị na-asụ ụmụaka na a ga-emelofe oke ite ndị na-asụ ụmụaka bịa na a ga-adọbụrụ gị ego because that is the problem. And you cannot chase out insecurity without chasing out the system that is supporting insecurity. Ndị na-asị abịa ka agwọrọ na ọgwụ ga-eji dị invisible. I was all of all, and if I can find a canoe, they will ever believing that Nafadi confronted by law enforcement, number one, for all man go for the so that is what individual make kidnapping. And I go to Ogo. And when the people raise the Gasigolo, in those kidnapping dens, they got for say their so-called shrines. Already benefit for those things. So that is what the government is confronting. Just like Abu Dhabi Siweku. Can separate the chaff from the substance.
Exactly.
Let us chase them away. Can I put the real Dibias? If I never Dibia, I'm an old man, then I'll go. Panacea.
Tradomedical.
Yes. There's a law I sponsored in the House of Assembly. Anambra State Herbal.
And also law. Here in ABS
there's a law that's guided. I'm going into herbal practice. Nobody is telling you to leave. I'm going to do Dibia. Now go ofuma. I'm going to ask you for. By the way, if it's body big, I'm a
name, I have your nazo make up.
If was baby Dibia. I'm on the Bundibia. Even a quick is poor J butter. Bo. Even a quick, or to be for Dibia or quick, on Odessia, Onata.
Upon almost a name, shooting star.
Yes,
I'm not know
the but I'm not Tata. Is my brother. We must clean up this system.
Amen.
We must clean it up. It cannot come out in the mother. Dibia never money doubling. Dibia they been during the time of our fathers. Dibia they never money doubling.
Or double good in here.
Or double good in here. That's neighbor. So because Obiora from Ajale ndo menana. Omo yesen dem mother ms no menana. Omenana de. Omenana gade. Ife Governor na-ekwu a n'ife iwu a na-ekwu bụ na ndị ji omenala ezu ori ndị na-eme fake ọfa ka a na-achụ and onwere onye na-eme omenala gara pụbia je na onye ime ọfịa dibịa ọbụla nọ n'obodo ọbụla amasịfa so na because na enwego ndị fake gọọmenti na-ekwu come and register ka anyị wee malụfa tell us nke ị na-agwọ ka adịshọ nọ ndị anwa na-agwọ ife achọ bụ ndị na ya so ọ bụrụ na onwe ndị ifi na faba ezigbo dibịa bụ na onwe na-achọfa ya anya I think ọ nwekwezi onye kwuru onye jụrụ ajụ si
time is Agnes
abachala nke ahụ aka nwa obele
catch up n'ikwu maka ụmụ onye jụrụ how to assess the law even though na
important because onye anwa nọ in the know it will help to enlightenment.
So most of these laws they're online. If you Google Anambra State, but the best way is you can come to the House of Assembly. Either the office of the clerk of the House of Assembly. The clerk of the House of Assembly has a library of all laws in Anambra State. Come nature, nyege.
Okay. Everyone is no maka. O teku onye guanya omaliba na ko onye ku aka we educate others. The thing na permeate.
Ona abofma.
The cleanse na agakwa.
Ona agafuma.
Yes. So I na ekenege dike no ye lai na nketa to say the fact. I feel like extending the hands of the clock so that we'll continue, but then the time does not stop for even Mr. President. So it cannot stop for the Ghana. So we must draw the curtain here, and I want to thank you for coming, Honorable Tony Mwabike, member representing Agwata 2 constituency and chairman House Committee on Health, Anambra State House of Assembly.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, the buy back I bet you dance Anambra Gebruzi or microphone. If you please come on, Oburuze the microphone, Gabazi no.
Oh, yes.
Oburuze, I see gonna go out and Agazioko.
Now, I propose Aguata now, man. I
take your time. Move to book Syrian Abbey.
Now, the bird. Oh, yes. Everyone could have can you know one Echi.
You have Uche Chuku Ebanamu Gebanaja, divine all of them.
And Gebanaja is in a Priska and I back over the microphone.
Jewoko.
In that case, I was a microphone. You might probably
microphone.
Our microphone. I ain't no microphone.